Hi everyone, I'm Jody. I'm from This Beaded Life, and today we are making snowflakes. So super excited about these snowflakes. They're really easy to make and they're really fun. They're going to be great on your tree or great from your window. That's where I'm going to put them, in my big front window, and we're going to make one today. This is part of a holiday themed series that Sam's Bead Shop is putting on. So please make sure that you're checking out Sam's Bead Shop on YouTube for more holiday jewelry ideas and tutorials. All right, let's turn this around. Okay, everyone, so here's some of the things that you're going to need. So you will definitely need some snowflakes. They come in this really big pack, and you get 6 total. So you get 2 that are 3 inches, 3¼ inches, 2 that are 4½ inches, and 1 that is 6 inch wide. So we're gonna do the 6 inch wide one, and it's gonna be so much fun. You guys are gonna be amazed by this whole little project. It's gonna be a blast. And let me just kind of show you some of the ones I made. So here's this one, and I wire wrapped a maple leaf, and I made the hook, and I put a maple leaf on the hook. We will be making the hook as well. Here's one that I did all in red, which I'm going to be doing another one all in red. And this one I used the Christmas trees in the part of the snowflake, and I also wire wrapped around, which is what we're going to be doing today with the seed beads. And I also made a cute little hook for that one, and I'll show you how to do that. So what you're going to need is you need your snowflakes, which you can get at Sam's Bead Shop. You can need whatever beads that you want to use. I do recommend making sure that you do have some little seed beads, because you're going to need some tiny beads for the center here, because your big beads won't fit next to each other in here. And if you want it to kind of match all the way going around, you're going to want to start with some small ones. You're going to need some 24 gauge wire if you choose to wire wrap. You're going to need 16 gauge wire to make your hook if you choose to make a hook. Otherwise, you can tie a ribbon or a piece of twine or whatever you want for that. And then these are the beads that I chose. We're going to be using this on our hook. So I'm going to just set him off to the side, and we're going to use the big 6 inch snowflake. So super easy, you guys. This is something quick and easy. So start with your seed bead, make sure that's in the middle there, and then maybe use another small bead. So let's use this little red guy. Okay, right there. And then I would like to use like these little pinch beads. Let's do 2 of those little pinch beads. Let's do a melon bead. I don't know if I'm going to use any of those white ones, but let's do a little gold one in between there. You know what? Maybe we could do a white one right here. That would look pretty. And then do another gold one. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just making my pattern for the rest of my snowflake, because each one of my little snowflake arms are going to look the same. So here we go. We can actually use another little white one. And then let's use another melon. And then let's just do one little pinch bead right here. And then that's going to leave us a lot of room here, because what we got to do is we need to make a loop. So you're going to grab onto your snowflake as delicately as you can. And you're going to want to take your round nose pliers. Now this is really sturdy wire, you guys. It's kind of like using memory wire. So just find a good place on your round nose pliers and just get a good grip and use all your strength, being careful not to crack any beads, and get yourself a nice little loop. So you see I have like a little opening right there, which is okay. We're gonna just take our pliers and just so carefully close up that loop as best as we can. Whoops. So now because I'm choosing to wire wrap, I am leaving a little bit of a gap here at the top, and this will slide up too because we're going to be wrapping wire around that. So don't be alarmed that there's such a big space there. We're going to be taking up some room with that. So just keep that in mind if you're choosing to wire wrap. Leave yourself about 1/8 of an inch of wiggle room, okay? That will all disappear. You won't even see that. So I know right now it's kind of like an eyesore, and you're probably wondering, what in the world is she doing? She's got all that space. But trust me on that. All right, so let's get this little guy on there. Use our little red one. Need a couple pinch beads. And then we need a melon. You can use all kinds of beads on this, you guys. This is like probably one of the most versatile projects I've ever done. And everyone's is going to be different, just like a snowflake. Every snowflake is different, and it is fabulous. So a couple ideas for these snowflakes. You can hang them from your Christmas tree, of course. You can hang them from a window, which is what I'm doing. I have a huge window in my living room that I plan on hanging these in. I get a lot of sunlight through that during the day, and I thought it would look really, really pretty just to have those hanging in my window. So I bought some of those clear suction cups, and I'm going to just hang them kind of sporadically in my big window. So I will show you guys that too. But or these make a great gift for somebody. Also in the gifting part of it, if you know how some people, like to wrap gifts so nice, and they do like everything is so like matching and like perfect. That's not what I do. But I do like to include like cute little things sometimes, like a gift on top of a gift. So this you could put right with their little name tag that's on their present, and they have this really pretty like little keepsake made by you along with their gift. So I'm just trying to like get a good grip here. There we go. All right, that bead is not going to slip through that crack. All right, so there we go. We're good. Now let's go ahead and continue on. This is the part that is like super fast, super easy. I think the hardest part of this whole thing is doing the loop at the top. So, and if you're also looking for like a fun holiday craft to do with children, whether you have like, a classroom, or if you have grandchildren or children of your own, or nieces and nephews, or perhaps you're just babysitting for a friend so they can enjoy some time away or do some Christmas shopping without bringing the kids, then this is a great craft for something like that too. I mean, just keep in mind, you'll have to monitor it really closely and make sure you're helping with the tools, because I don't think the kids could do the tools. But as long as you're sitting right there with them, I think this would be something fun that you can do together, and everyone make a different snowflake, and it would be really fun. All right, so we have our other little snowflake leg, I don't know what else to call it, done. And so let's do our little wire wrap. I'm gonna have like really strong hands and arms by the time I'm done with this. All right, and continuing on, we only got a couple left to do, so we'll get these done. So again, there are going to be a lot more holiday tutorials on making like Christmas jewelry and such over on Sam's YouTube channel. Make sure you go to Sam's Bead Shop on YouTube and follow and subscribe, because you don't want to miss any of this stuff. Subscribing is super important. You don't want to miss any of this stuff. You want to get those alerts sent to your phone or your computer to let you know something new has come up so you can check it out. And then, of course, if you are new to Sam's, they have a whole bead shop full of glorious beads. They have a bead box that you can get a subscription every month. They have an app that you can shop from. They do live sales, and I mean, they have all kinds of like amazing guests that do absolutely phenomenal tutorials for them every month. So I really highly suggest following along, sign up to get on their text list or their emailing list. You don't want to miss anything. Okay. There we go. Just a little squeeze. All right, 2 more left, you guys, and then we'll do some wire wrapping. Okay. We are getting somewhere. We only have 1 left after this one. And there we go. All right, last one. Whoops. We are getting so close to being done with this part of it. As you can see, if you were just skipping the wire wrapping part and just making them, the hardest part is deciding what beads you want to use in what order. That's like the hardest part, that and the loops, of course. All right, so here we go. So now we can make our last little loop here. Okay. Whoops. Oh my goodness. There we go. Man. All right. So now I'm going to put away the stuff that I don't need. I'm just going to set it off to the side for now. All right. And now we're going to get into some wire wrapping. So I want to use both of these to bring out more of the bright red and some of that gold. So we're going to set all that stuff aside. And what I do is I start up here and I need wire to go all the way down here. And what you're gonna wanna do, so I found this to be the easiest, is take some of your 24 gauge wire and you're going to kind of measure it out, but then add like probably maybe 3 inches on each side, because you want to give plenty of space to wrap around up at the top and at the bottom, but also to intertwine it around your beads. So I'm going to cut this off and then I'll give you a measurement. Now this is going to be for the 6-inch wide snowflake. Let me grab my tape measure here, if I can find it. You know, oh, there it is. I can never find my tape measure. It's always right in my face. All right, so let's give it a good measure right here. Whoop. So this is practically double. It's about 11.5. I probably could have went all the way to 12. So you're probably gonna wanna double up your wire. All right, so where you're starting is at the top. And again, you just wanna make sure your loop is pretty closed. There we go. All right, and then you're just gonna take your wire, you can just wrap it around. I'm using this short one right here and just wrapping it, like kind of doing like a wire wrap around my snowflake little arm. So that's what it looks like, okay? And you can pinch your wire together and then cut that right there. Use your pliers to smush it down. There we go. And once you have your wire securely on there, then you can go ahead and start putting your beads on. Just gonna use this as like my little needle to pick up some beads. See if it works out. And I think I'm just gonna do, I think this is 8 of the gold. And then we'll do a couple of the red, like 3. 3 is always a good number. And then let's do 8 more gold. It's 7 and 8. So what you're making is like your little garland to go over your snowflake. And just keep beating it on until you have it full. This process takes a little bit longer, but I think it's totally worth it in the long run. All right. And then 3 of these little guys. Go. 1, 2, and 3. go. So we'll do one together. I will do one on my own off camera, and then we'll come back for the last one and finish up our cute little snowflake. So we can see like how far we are. We just want to go probably about up to here, and then we'll be all set with that. Whoops. All right, I think we are just about set. I mean, we can actually start wire wrapping around now. We can always add more beads on if we need to. What I typically do is I just kind of like bend my wire a little bit like that. So now what we're doing is we're just going to follow the natural, like the way it's being, the way you wrapped it around here, follow that because that's the natural way it's gonna go. And just very carefully wrap it around where you want it. Don't forget to let those beads fall back down. Then you can come through just like that and continue to wrap. You can straighten out your little kinks if you need to. And it looks like we need just a little bit more. So let's do a couple more of these red ones. And we need 8 more of these. There we go. And then just continue to go around. You can always adjust your little spirals. And then back up to the top to where you're going to start wrapping around. And you're just going to wrap it nice and snug, going all the way up to your little hook. All right, and now we can trim that one off. Smash down any little wires poking up. And there's one. All right, I'm gonna do one on my own and I'll be back and we'll do the last one together. Okay guys, I got my second one on, so now let's do this last one together. And just like before, I used about 12 inches of wire, and we're going to take just one part of it and the little small amount and wrap around right above that first bead. Okay, so pull it tight and just take your little one and just keep wrapping around. 3 times is usually plenty. If it's too short, grab your pliers and finish helping it around. All right, once you get to a spot where you feel like you're good, you can go in there and carefully snip off your small piece, like so. Use your pliers to push down anything that's poking out. And now we're ready to put our beads on this one. So we're gonna just keep doing the same thing we did before. We're gonna do 8 of these and then 3 of the others. While I had it pause doing that second one, my brother came over to, he likes to walk our dog. Him and our dog Woody has a very special bond, and so he likes to come over on the weekend, once on Saturday, once on Sunday, take Woody for a little walk and visit for a few minutes. And so that's what he did, and he checked out my craft room and talked to me for a little bit and was looking at different things that I had made. And so that was a nice little quick visit while I was working on the other one. And he's like, oh, you're making snowflakes. So I already know that, you know, he thinks Mom would like them. So I probably will give her a couple. I won't be greedy. I'll make sure my mom has a few. She would be happy. All right, so it's 5, 6, 7, and 8. 3 of these. I love these little red sparkly ones. They're so pretty. This part is actually a lot of fun, getting these little beads on here like this. All right. I think we're getting close. Let's see where we're at. I think we need to do 2 more of the, like 3 more of these, and then 8 more of the little seed beads, and I think we're good. There we go. 8 more seed beads. All right, we got them. All right, let's go ahead and move those off to the side so I don't knock them over. And just like before, we're gonna follow the way our little wrap at the top went, and just wrapping it around. This one we're gonna go on top here. All right, and once we get there, we can go ahead and take our wire and wrap it around above that top bead. 3 times is usually pretty good. Cut off what we don't need, save your wire because you'll probably use it eventually. And there we go. There is our pretty snowflake. All right, and then you can play with your little wraps and just kind of even them out if you want. I think it looks beautiful the way it is. And let's go ahead and make our hook. I'll be right back and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so we're going to use our 16 gauge wire. We want to use something really thick. You can get the bench block out and hammer if you want to work harden it, but I found that the 16 gauge wire is pretty sturdy. So let's just find the end here. We're going to snip a little bit of this off because it's all crinkly. And you're going to want probably about 5 inches of wire is all you're going to need, unless you want to make a really big hook, but I don't think you're going to need a big hook for this. So we're going to use about 5 to 6 inches of wire, and we are going to just kind of make it so we can make it nice and smooth here. You can use your ring mandrel if you have one to shape it. I have one, but I don't need it for this one. If I was making a bigger hook, I would probably want to use it. So I'm just going to use my bail making pliers. You can also use a marker if you don't have bail making pliers. You can also use your round nose pliers. I use it for part of it, but anything round you can use. So a pen, a Sharpie, you know, stuff like that. But I like to make a little swirl right here. And so we're just going to start by making just a tiny little swirl, all right, and just make it flat, just a little, like a little loop, all right, that's it. You can make your swirl bigger, so if we want it to go in, we could absolutely make it a little bit bigger and just kind of follow it around. So we'll just make a little bit bigger of a swirl, okay, just like that. So there's our little swirl. And then I want to use the largest part of my bail making pliers. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my wire in here with my little loop that I made, and it's going to be facing towards me. So the swirls are facing towards me. The wire is facing away from me. If you can see how that looks. Okay. And then I'm going to take my wire, I'm going to push it around my big bail or my marker or whatever. Okay, so there's my hook part, right? Then I'm going to stick it back in here on that large one, and I'm going to move it to where it's going to kind of like fit around, and if I close it, it almost completes the loop, right? So you can see where it's at. And then I'm just going to take this and just bring it back. All right, just a little bit. Just so I have like more of like a hook shape. So there's my hook shape. And already it's just from being moved around that metal, it's already getting like work hardened. And then I'm just going to use the heat of my fingers and just kind of smooth this out. So there's our hook. And then I'm going to feed our Christmas tree on, just like that. And then we're going to use our round nose pliers, and we're going to make a loop. Make sure I'm doing this right here. I'm trying to think of like how it's going to go on. So if I make my loop like this, okay, yeah. So if you're going to hook a loop onto here, you're going to want to have it like this. So your hook is facing up and down like this, and you're going to wrap around this way, whoop, like this, and make your wire wrap loop. All right, so once we get to that point, we have that much. Now we want to put it on here. So use your pliers. Oops, I'm stuck on something. I'm stuck on one of my hooks. All right, so you're gonna wanna open this up just a little bit just a little bit, enough to get this through. There we go. And then we're gonna hold it down with our pliers, and we'll come in and wrap that around with another pair of pliers. So we have that in place. Just take this and just slowly guide it around. Make a nice little neat wrap. And there you go. And then we'll trim that off. Maybe. There we go. And then we can squish that down. And here is our super cute Christmassy snowflake. I hope you guys like that. I will be showing you some more that I've made and how I've hung them on my window. So I'll be back soon.